that's all.
Where's your horses?
Marshal, please, you remember what you said.
We lost them.
You don't look like greenhorns to me.
It can happen to anyone.
That's cool. The one in the middle ain't even armed. Pick him up, Hank.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Carrot Cactus.
How far you going?
Vegas.
Fort Downer.
Let's continue on.
About 60 miles to Fort Downer. You're crowding us.
Well, I'll get
That'll
this
be 15
little
cents a
control
mile.
point here
How much is that,
for
Mr.
the
Jones?
memorial.
About $9, Chester.
$9 apiece, that is, and payable right here.
All right. It's high, but I can't argue with you now. Here you are. 20, 5, 6, 7.
All right, mister. Get in. I don't know how the passengers are going to like this, though.
You got room for a couple more in here?
Anybody can't keep his horse ought to walk home.
There's room for 2, maybe, but not 3.
Oh?
Take a look for yourself, mister.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Chester?
Oh, no, sir, I can't.
I don't want Beaudry on top. You'll have to get up there, Chester.
Well, I guess you're right, sir. But I think you fellas ought to charge us less if I can't ride inside.
The Overland stage guarantees a ride, mister. Comforts the passengers' problem.
Get in, Beaudry.
Yeah.
Now get fixed somehow. You've held us up long enough.
Give me a hand out there.
Get dog.
You don't look like a judge, mister.
I'm not a judge.
Well, you must be important somehow. We order these men around, and that fellow on top there calls you sir.
Going?
Well, let's just say that I'm sort of the boss of this outfit, mister.
What'd you say your name was?
I didn't say. It happens to be Dillon.
Oh, I'm Zimmer. Old man here called himself Gang.
My name is Gann. I ain't ashamed of it. I don't give a long hoot what any of you call yourselves.
Gang's kind of crusty, but he's sober. That's more than I can say for the other 2 here. They only wake up long enough to pull on that jug
kill
they
this
got and
ghoul
get
over here
drunk
and
enough to
get
go back to sleep.
And this is the
Well, that's not a
dangerous
bad
quest
way
I
to
was
travel if
talking
your
about.
stomach can stand it, I guess.
No, he ain't doing myself if I was
Because,
younger.
you fuck up.
What business you in,
Good
Dylan?
boys are
You
going to
ask
turn
too
out
many
bad.
questions, Zimmer. You ain't got no manners.
Pretty sure we
Nobody's
can do
asking
this.
you, old
I've done it
man.
at least a few times, so I'm sure it'll go fine.
Now listen here, Gan. Any more out of you, and I'll tear you
You
apart.
can't spook me. I'm too old. 85, mister. Would you believe it?
Hey,
No, sir, I wouldn't. That's mighty old.
What the fuck are you looking at? Never seen a ghoul. Why the fuck should I tell you anything? Get out of my face. Okay, I'm listening. You think I'm fucking scared of you? I'm gonna rip you apart.
Take it easy.
How are you
Don't
now?
mind, Dylan. He's just nervous about something.
Just
Where are you
died.
driving that, old man?
We'll be at Monument Station in about an hour, Dylan. Spend the night there. Hope the chow's improved. Last time I was there, all I had was fat pork. One passenger says, I never eat fat pork. So the cook told him, well, then just help yourself to the mustard.
Monument Station was a long, low hut made of sun-dried, mud-colored bricks with a flat roof thatched and then sodded. The one building served as an eating room in the daytime and a bunkhouse at night. There wasn't much air inside, and after dinner, fat pork and mustard, Chester, Beaudry, and I went out to the corral for a smoke.
My gracious alive, I hate to think of sleeping in there. All those men, why, a fella could suffocate. And I'll bet that stock tender hasn't washed himself since he left home.
He said he washed his blankets anyways, just this morning.
Yeah, sure. You know how? He spreads it on an anthill for a couple of hours.
Oh, well, that settles it. I'm sleeping outside.
All right, Chester. We just don't get too cozy. Half the night you're standing guard over Beaudry here. I'll watch him the other half.
Well, I'm not going to run away
That's gonna
much.
hurt.
You ran once, Beaudry.
All right, I'll tell you something, and maybe you'll trust me a little then.
Tell me what?
Would you like to know who Zimmer is?
Zimmer, see that real testy fella? I don't like him at all. He's always on the prod about something or other.
Wait a
Just
minute,
little bit
Chester.
ago,
Wait a minute. What about Zimmer, Bodrick?
His real name is Chess Rhine.
So?
Well, at least that's the name was under his picture.
Well, where was this picture, Bodrick?
Well, in California, tacked onto a pole.
Go on.
Well, I think the reward was $500. Of course, I ain't certain.
You sure it was his picture?
Yeah, Marshal, I'm sure. Heard a lot of talk about him in Sacramento just before I left.
What kind of talk?
Well, like one time he rode in a stagecoach as a passenger, and he was peaceful enough until some fellows on horses, they stopped that stage in a canyon somewheres, and then this here Chess Ryan, he pulled a gun on the other passengers, and he disarmed them, whilst the boys outside unloaded the treasure box. They had an extra saddle horse along, and Ryan, he rode off with them. That's the way I heard it.
Seems to me he went to a lot of trouble.
Sometimes the passengers give road agents as much fight as the driver and messenger, Chester. They feel safe because they're inside.
Yeah, and that's what Chess Ryan figured. What, are you going to arrest him, Marshal?
I can't arrest a man without cause, Baudry. You may be telling the truth, but I don't know that for sure. I can check on Zimmer when we get to Fort Donner, but all I can doodle in's keep an eye on
Well,
him.
this stage will be robbed long before it gets to Fort Donner, Marshal.
Yeah, maybe, but not without a fight. Thanks for telling me, Baudry, and for your sake, I hope it's the truth. If it isn't, you're going to be in more trouble than you are now. All right, keep an eye on him, Chester. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
And now to go back and tell this guy that he's all safe from these ghouls.
Berryman?
Yeah?
Out here a minute, will you?
What's up, mister?
I want to talk to you, that's all. Alone. Come on outside, huh?
Be right back, Hank. Save some of that whiskey for me.
Right, Barry.
What's on your mind, mister?
How long you been an express messenger, Berryman?
2 years? Not that it's any business of yours.
You run into any trouble in that time?
Some? Why?
I just want to know if you can handle yourself, that's all.
You want to find out?
Look, Berryman, you know my name. It's Dillon. I'm Matt Dillon. I'm the U.S. Marshal out of Dodge.
Dillon. Yeah, I think I remember seeing you there.
Good. Now tell me this. You carrying much in that treasure box of yours?
The messenger who brought it as far as Pond Creek said it was $50,000, unsigned currency, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Something up, Marshal?
Well, maybe. Tell me, what's the best place for a holdup between here and Fort Donner?
Well, Willow Bend, I expect. Man on a horse could keep hidden there till we were right on top of him.
All right, tell the driver to whip those horses through Willow Bend as fast as they'll go. Chester will be on the roof to help you, and I'll sort of organize the passengers inside.
Well, now if there's going to be a holdup, Marshal, you
Well,
should...
I don't know, but we'll play it safe. And, by the way, Berryman, don't let on inside there about this, huh? Or,
Hey,
who I am? All right.
I am, but I still need to put as much distance between me and the reservation as possible. Thank you, friend. I'd be dead if it wasn't for you.
Oh, Marshal,
Yeah.
we got a jug of station whiskey inside if you want a drink.
I don't think it'd do much good. I've heard of that stuff freezing solid on a cold night.
We will return for the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment. But first, backing up the great CBS Radio News Team election night will be Univac, the new electric brain operating for the first time to bring you faster, more accurate, more complete election night totals. November 4th, starting at 8 p.m. New York time, CBS Radio reports the election returns from coast to coast. Make CBS Radio your election headquarters to hear the trends, the color, and the mounting tide of results. Reported by Edward R. Murrow, Lowell Thomas, and the rest of the same great CBS radio team that made convention reporting history earlier this year.
Now, that we have all that
Now, the
settled,
second act of Gunsmoke.
we're going to... What's our next quest?
Next morning, just after sunup, the stage left Monument Station. It was 10 miles to Willow Bend and 12 miles to the next change of horses at a small swing station run by a lone stock tender. Zimmer, or Chess Rhine, if that's who he was, seemed nervous. Too nervous for an experienced road agent, but maybe he had figured me for what I was, and that gave him the jumps.
Time to go down a prim.
Anyway, I sat next to him so I could handle him faster if and without a fight. Thanks for telling me, Baudry, and for your sake, I hope it's the truth. Then the driver popped his whip over the teams, and they began to run hard. But suddenly, he was pulling them in and braking at the same time. One move by Zimmer at that point, and I'd have killed or crippled him.
What are we stopping here for? Hey, driver, what's up?
Wheels been dragging. Couldn't you feel it pull?
All right, everybody out.
Well, what's the idea? Driver, what's wrong?
The wheel's stuck. Can't pull it off with you in there. Come on, hurry it up.
Baudry, get over there by Chester.
Well, don't you worry about me. You keep an eye on Reed.
Go on now.
Come on. What do you think, Dylan?
No, they'd have jumped us by now, Berryman, while everybody was still inside. But keep your head up anyway. You watch the other side of the coach. I'll stay here.
Okay.
What do you mean it wasn't grease? Why not?
It's sizzling hot. Have to cool before we can take it off. That drunken fool at Monument didn't grease this one, that's all. Take a bullwhip to him when I get back there.
Well, you can grease it now, can't you?
I could, mister, if I had any grease.
Well, you mean you haven't got any?
Not unless I render you down and make some. Now get out of my way.
Well, any more of that and I'll... All right, forget it. What are we going to do?
How about grass, driver?
Hey, that's an idea.
Wrap it around the spindle and go till it wears out. It won't last long, but we can keep putting it on till we get to the next station.
We'll be all day stopping every half mile. Why don't you greenhorns ask a real man how to fix it?
All right, Pop. How are we going to fix it?
Cheese?
Cheese.
Yes, cheese. It works fine, too.
Yeah, it might at that.
I suppose you brought some cheese along just in case, Pop, huh?
I brought it along to eat. You get it? But I'll let you have it. It's in my carpet bag.
Old Gant's cheese worked fine, and we left Willow Bend without more trouble. I began to figure Baudry for a liar, but he just sat there, staring out at the prairie. Said nothing. A few miles further on, as we approached the swing station, I heard a shout from the messenger, and then Baudry pointed ahead. And I leaned out to take a look. The station was a small one-room adobe hut with the usual corral at the rear, but there wasn't a horse in sight. And out of the two windows facing us poured thin streams of white smoke. As the stage pulled to a stop, I saw two arrows embedded in the half-open door.
Come on, Jack. Look at them there.
Wait a minute. Let me take a look in there.
Let's all take a look, Zimmer.
Where's the stock tender? They kill him?
They tried to fire the place, but it's just smoldering.
Who are those two men?
I don't know. But this one's still alive.
Well, that's the stock tender. But who are those two?
Never mind them. They're dead.
Scout. Indian sure must have surprised him, sneaked right up.
All right, Berryman, let's get the stock tender out of this smoke. Take his head there.
Yeah. They scalped him, too. And he ain't even dead.
Never mind that. Just pick him up easy. It's all right, fella. Stage is here.
Indians, Comanches, they scalped me. Never even heard them.
Ask him who those other men were. What were they doing here?
Leave him be. The man's dying.
Water. Give me a drink.
Chester, get the water bag.
Yes, sir.
Can't you let the man alone, Dylan?
Scalped 3 men and stole horses. That's Comanches for you. Here's the water, sir.
Oh, thanks. Here, fella. Here now. Take a drink. There we go.
Road agents, those two, they held me up. They said they'd hide till the horses were unhitched. Then rolled up the stage. Had a partner on the stage to keep the passengers out of it.
What was his name? Their partner, I mean.
Put my head down, mister. It's bubbling over.
The stock tender's eyes clouded up and went blank as I laid his head back.
Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? We'd love to.
Stage. The old man stopped struggling when he felt Zimmer's gun in his back, and the rest of us just stood there watching, helpless.
First man draws a gun, Gant'll die.
You gave yourself away, Chess Ryan.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy. This fool's nervous.
Shut up. You, driver. Lead those teams down the road a piece, then come back here. Jan and I'll take the stage alone. Come on.
You better do what he says, driver. He's scared enough to shoot.
Guess I better.
What are you stopping for? Take him 50 yards down there.
Can't do it. That wheel's froze up again. He ain't going anywhere at that stage.
Might as well give up right now, young fool.
I never did like you, Gant.
Ryan, listen to me. You've made your play and you've lost. If you give up now, the charges will be attempted robbery. If you don't, they'll probably turn into murder.
Who are you anyway, mister?
I'm a U.S. Marshal.
Well, you're not arresting nobody. Not unless you want Gant dead. You make a move and his blood'll be on your hands, Marshal.
You can't hold him there forever, Ryan. The stage going west passes through sometime today. What'll you do then?
He's right. That stage passes this station about noon. I drive it myself half the time.
I'll think of something. First, I want all you men to unload your weapons. Line up and throw them in a pile there. One at a time. But you even start to try anything and I'll blow a hole in the old man.
You think you would, Mr. Dillon?
He's so nervous now, it's a wonder he doesn't do it by accident, Chester.
I get going, don't stand there. One at a time now. And use 2 fingers to do it.
All right, man, you better do as he says.
Now? Go ahead. Easy. All right. Next man.
Beaudry.
Yeah?
You're the only man who might stop this.
Oh.
Pretend to join him.
You trust me that much?
I don't know what it was brought you to Prim, youngster, but you might want to rethink your plans. Town's gone. Johnson Nash is my name. Husband to Ruby Nash. Lived in Prim going on 8 years now, thick and thin. I'm a trader primarily, for what it's worth with things like they are. I also run the local Mojave Express outpost. Well, I don't got any work right now, sorry to say. I'll tell you whatever I can. You have a delivery order you can show me? Oh, so you're talking about one of them packages. That job had strange written all over it, but we couldn't turn down the caps. That cowboy robot had us hire 6 couriers. Each was carrying something a little different. Pair of dice, chess piece, that kind of stuff. Last word I have from the office, it looked like payment had been received for the other 5 jobs. Guess it was just your chip that didn't make it. First deadbeat we hired to do the job canceled. Hope a storm from the divide skins him alive. Well, that's where you came in. Yeah, I got this look when he saw you next down on the courier list. His expression turned right around. Asked me if your name was for real. I said, sure as like a rain, you were still kicking. Then he turned down the job, just like that. I asked if he was sure it was good money. No, let Courier 6 carry the package. That's what he said. Like the Mojave'd sort you out or something. Then he just up and walked out. No idea. Sounds like you two had a history for him to act like that. And turn down the money, too. Hope he didn't see any trouble in that package of yours. Maybe he thought your name was bad luck. Enough for me to say. Well, now that you mention it, a few nights back, one of the townies was out scavenging for supplies. He said he saw a fellow with a daisy suit come through with some of them Great Con misfits. They was talking about a chip. Well, for that, your best bet is going to be talking to Deputy Beagle. Since they came to town, he was keeping a good bit of notes on them, and he was slinking around Bison Steve when your pretty boy friend came through. He may have heard where they were going. A Beagle had...
Sure, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Now give me back that gun.
Hey, youngster. Right now, I've got something for you. Gangers.
You think...
My job's to bring you in. Any way I can get you there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next episode. Touch